March 11th, 2023, and should I say March? I meant May. May 11th, 2023. I am out here. I'm still at work, but I'm taking a break. I just needed a mental break. I think I'm overwhelming my system with all these different videos that I've been watching on bipolar, topics on bipolar and articles that I've been reading, and I think I'm good. There's so many, and I'm so intrigued by everything that I've learned so far. Um I just I keep saying it. I wish I had known all of this when I was dating Joshua. Um and I feel a sense of regret, and I'm not somebody who usually feels a sense of regret, because I think regret is pointless unless you're going to do something about it. So you can't just, you can't turn back time, but you can do better. Um, but if there's no doing better, if you can't do anything better, then I think regret is pointless. However, I feel a sense of regret, and it's not my responsibility. He was not my responsibility. I was not his mother. I was not his therapist. I was his girlfriend. I was his fiance, and as such, he didn't take care of himself. He didn't take care of me. He put too much on me. He put too much on me, and in the end he's blaming me. He he perceives that I am to blame for this relationship being over, and it is textbook. Everything that he was going through, everything that I didn't even notice was part of his manic or depression, everything that I didn't notice was part of the psychosis that he went through. It's like textbook. This guy in Polar Warriors has put so much in perspective for me that I'm looking at it going, wow, this is exactly what happened, or this is exactly what I was watching, that this is exactly what I witnessed. And at the time when it was happening, I was so confused. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know how to make things better for him. I didn't understand why I couldn't talk to him and have him comprehend my side of things. I didn't know why he was blowing things out of proportion. I didn't know why he was taking what I was saying to him, or when we interacted, what he was how he was processing things was not how I meant them. It was so frustrating, and I could see myself losing my partner little by little, just like this anger was kicking in, this depression was kicking in, this turmoil of things. And he started sleeping through the day. He started being like groggy and weird. He started just being indifferent. He went from like answering my messages right away to just waiting a few hours to look at them. I could tell, and it sucked, let me tell you. From the perspective of somebody who really wanted this relationship to work, because, well, first, we're both grown. We're both grown, and if we found love in each other at this stage in life, and not only love, but like a compatibility of so many hopes and dreams, and so many little things that we really just resonated with each other, how lucky were we to find one another in the slew of people who care about nonsense, or in the slew of people who care about things that we don't care about, or that I don't care about. I found somebody who cares about things that I care about. I found somebody who has hobbies that maybe I don't have, but I have hobbies that he doesn't have, and we still complemented each other, and it was devastating because I love the way he loved me. I think he loved the way that I loved him. It was in those moments of disharmony that things happened, and they only escalated because of his untreated bipolar episodes. And I remember thinking, not understanding why, like, where did this come from? Where did this anger come from? I remember the first time he yelled at me. We weren't even together. We hadn't even met yet. But he yelled at me in such a again, I'm thinking, my brain is fried right now. He yelled at me in such a way that it took me back, like, oh my God. Like, no one had ever yelled at me like that, not even in a fight. That was a real big concern of mine, because he didn't even apologize for it, and I expected him to, like, later come back and say, "Hey, I'm sorry for that. I was stressed out and such." And he, even though he yelled at me, he ended up seeing it, the conversation that we were talking about, some bachelor moves that he was making even then, um, that now turned out to be lies that he made. He lied to me about things when he knows that I have triggers when it comes to, I dated a sex addict, and that sex addict did some gave me some PTSD that I'm still working on. And even though that he wasn't sensitive to the needs, that he needed to be open and transparent, and so I found out that he had lied about this ex-girlfriend of his, and um and that blew up into way more than it needed to be. On a good day, him and I could have sat down and had a conversation about things and been completely okay. But since it wasn't a good day, it was like the catalyst. No, it wasn't the catalyst. It was just like maybe the straw that broke the camel's back, because by then he'd been acting weird and different, and just, I knew he loved me. I knew there was love there, but he was going through a lot. And so anyway, I see it now. It's too late. It's not my fault, even though I blame myself for not knowing. I blame myself because I was a typical girlfriend in these situations, wanting some answers, wanting some explanations, and all those little loose ends. I wanted to know. I knew that my boyfriend, my fiance at the time, sorry, I knew that he wasn't someone that would, cheat on me, but he was somebody that would keep things from me when it comes to other women. He had done it already. And he had lied about things on multiple occasions. So I needed some comfort when it came to that kind of stuff, because no girlfriend or fiance or wife or anybody wants to feel like there's stuff unsaid or kept by your partner when it comes to the opposite sex. You want there to be a comfort and a transparency. You want there to be you show me that this is happening, or someone's coming on to you, or someone's, sending you messages. You show me that, and then we laugh together like, too late, I'm here now. That kind of thing. You just say, hey, heads up, honey, this is what happened. I did on multiple occasions, like, hey, honey, so this is what happened. I found this on my phone, and I just wanted to let you know that I deleted it. I know it was inappropriate. I'm so sorry. Subject on. Or, hey, honey, this person said this to me, and, it just made me feel uncomfortable. But I wanted you to know because I love you. You're my partner, and this is something that we just open, trustworthy communication. So, that was something that Joshua really struggled with. Imagine that, a guy struggling with that kind of stuff. So anyway, but overall, I can sit here and tell you that on a scale from 1 to 10, I distrusted my boyfriend when it came to that, maybe a 4. And that was because the incidents that had happened. I did trust him for the most part with these subjects. I just wanted us to have that communication. I just wanted us to have that openness with each other. That was something I definitely planned to bring up with a couples counselor when we supposedly were going to go see one. But anyway, today I feel almost sick to my stomach. And I think I stress ate. I just stressed ate chocolate, and I haven't had sugar in weeks. And it hurt my stomach. I'm not used to it anymore. It's gross. But I came in from lunch, and I was standing there on my computer, because I can raise the desk, and so I was standing there on my computer starting to do work, and I felt manic. I felt uncomfortable, and all of a sudden my eyes just welled up, and like tears started like welting in my eyes, and I almost lost it. And there's the weirdest thing, because I'm pretty good at controlling my emotions, especially in a professional setting. I felt like I had no control over this moment. I felt like I had no control over this, and I was like, oh my God, I'm about to have a breakdown. Maybe I'm about to just start bawling. And at the very last second, as tears started burning down my cheeks, I kind of like took a deep breath and was able to hone it back in. But it felt like a tidal wave of emotions that were just gonna come out. Obviously, they're there. This is so, it's so traumatic, and it's so shitty. And the things that I found out, you know, that I've found out, and I addressed them this morning. I kept all the screenshots of what I said. I kept the original of what I said to what had been said about me. It's so shitty because he literally 2-3 days earlier told me that he loves me, but yet he is smudging my name with no accountability for himself to validate what he's done. And I know that this is a bipolar thing. I know because I've watched so many videos and read so many articles about this specific thing. But it still hurts. It still hurts because that man there that's smudging my name to vindicate himself, to justify his horrific actions, was the love of my life. He really was. I can't stress enough how compatible, how sweet we were. And I know that it was genuine. I know that it was real. So I almost had a little bit of a nervous breakdown there, and just honed it in the last second. I'm tough. I really am tough. I just don't want this to manifest in panic attacks or other things. So I did a good thing, and I went to a friend, a coworker, and I sat with her, and I asked her, do you have some space for me to emotionally release a little bit? And she said, yeah. And I said, I know that you really don't. I said, so all I'm gonna say is that I almost had a panic attack right now, and I just almost started bawling. And so she just held my hand, and we talked for a little bit, and I told her what I was feeling. She's telling me how she's feeling, and we're gonna go for a walk after work. Just all together, her dogs, my son, just all of us, for a little walk. And this Memorial Day weekend, we're thinking maybe we'll go to Mount Shasta together, because that's where I was so looking forward to taking my partner to Mount Shasta to see the orbs on the mountain. But you have to be a spiritual person to be able to see those things, so maybe it wasn't his time. I thought he was gonna drive us part way there, and I miss him. I miss the man that used to be Joshua. Not this guy that is Joshua right now. But I miss the man that I loved. I can't say sorry enough, even though I shouldn't, because it's not my fault. But I can't say sorry enough for not knowing about his condition. I just want to cry when I say that, because I could kick myself for not taking his condition seriously. And that's one of the things that the Polar Warriors guy talks about. It's like your support system, your partner, all of those people need to be on board with your condition. They need to know about it in order to be able to help you, in order to recognize the signs and be able to help you. But he is in denial and doesn't recognize them himself, because that is part of the illness, not recognizing your own bullshit, your own symptoms, and how bad you really are. Everything about bipolar is terrifying. It's horrible. And my heart goes out to him that he has to deal with this. But you know what? In the end, even if he never realizes it, I was the perfect woman for him, because I'm strong, I'm determined, I'm confident, I'm not easily spooked by things, and I'm solid. I'm solid. I would have been there for him through all the ups and downs, being able to explain to him and what's happening, and just being able to just kind of guide the situation in order for it to get better, and at the same time be there for my son to kind of be there for those moments where maybe he was witness to something and explain to him, hey, this is what's going on. So I was a really good woman for him. He got lucky when he met me, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I was just solid like that. I had him. And I was, as long as he was with me, I wasn't gonna abandon him. I wasn't going to just say, okay, never mind, to leave. The only times I ever told him to get out was when he was freaking yelling, raising his voice, and that wasn't cool, because in my house we don't raise our voice like that. We don't yell like that. We sit down and have conversations. We sit down and have discussions in a loving way, and that's how we started, and that's how we were gonna be. I wasn't gonna accept yelling and screaming and being aggressive, and I know that a lot of that was his bipolar kicking in. I see it now. I understand it now, and I wish I could have handled that differently instead of telling him get out. But really, because I didn't know that was his bipolar, that scared me. It scared me that all of a sudden it was like Jekyll and Hyde, and I'm like, oh my God, can this guy physically harm me? I felt like he could. So that, and my son being at home and asleep some of the nights when we had arguments, is like, no, get out, go cool off. And once you cool off, you can come back inside. But that was my go-to. And had I known that he wasn't necessarily in charge of those emotions, I would have handled it differently. Now it would have been okay, honey, I can tell that you're really agitated. I'm going to step out of this equation, leave you be. When we both calm down, we can talk about it. You let me know when you're feeling better, because there were those moments, and even in a bigger fight, I would say things like, I love you. I love you. I want this to be over. I want the fight to be over. I don't want to argue with you anymore. I just love you. So him and I were so workable. For me, he triggered so much love, so much understanding, and I didn't understand about his bipolarism. So, had I known then what I know now, I would have been different in handling him, versus like, why the hell does he think he can yell at me like that, or, oh my God, he's getting violent. Oh my God, just get out, that kind of thing. I would have realized, hey, this is a manic moment, and we both need to just kind of cool it off, um, and wait till the dust settles, and then we can have a discussion about it. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. I just know that I'm gonna take a break from the whole bipolar thing, because there's no reason for me to continue aggravating myself with all of this anyway. Like, this situation is over, and now it's time to focus on me. That's what I need to do. Focus on me, because I'm focusing too much on him and his situation. And what's the point? He's gone. So now it's time to focus on me and my recovery and my healing, because I'm dismissing myself, and that whole almost bursting into tears out of just straight nowhere, and feeling like I wasn't going to be able to contain that. I need to address that, because I need to be here for my son. I need to be here for me. I need to hold the fort and keep going. I don't have my partner anymore. He abandoned us. So I have to keep going and keep it together. So, yeah. I feel this angst in my chest, so I need to take care of self. I really do. I don't want to end up with a panic attack or worse. I gotta go back inside.